Hey everyone, I'm DJ. I'm an applied cultural anthropologist on a mission to discover what I can do with a degree in anthropology here in Australia. But before we get into what I've discovered, let's talk to some people on the street and find out what they think about culture and anthropology. Come on. All right, folks, we're out here at Merrickville Festival. We're going to go ahead and ask some people what culture is and what anthropologists do and see what we can find out. What is culture?
To me, culture is people.
All right, what is a cultural anthropologist, or what might a cultural anthropologist do?
Well, I don't know about the anthropologists, really. Still called the anthropologists is people who sort of dig carbon data and try to come up with dates pertaining to certain people and their way of life.
They try to identify and also do a research to educate. It's like a history, then they can educate others.
Trying to pin down culture, it's a difficult task. I mean, culture is really a way we have of talking about differences between groups. Now, sometimes you think it's in people's heads, sometimes you think it's in their behaviors, sometimes you think it's in shared beliefs. Whatever it is, it very much depends upon, what kind of question you're asking. I mean, for some purposes, culture is just a pattern of, I like to say, induced human variation. That is, human variation that's caused by humans. So it might come from child rearing, it might come from different ideas about what's valuable. Sure. It might come from religion or from old customs. It all depends on what you're looking at.
And what does an anthropologist do?
Fundamentally, an anthropologist studies human variation. Now, what makes anthropology different to other disciplines are two things. One is we don't do that in a lab. We go wherever the human variation is, whether that's the tundra or the rainforest. And the second thing is we do holistic research. We don't assume ahead of time that you can take one part of life and carve it off, like the economic or the psychological, because oftentimes when we go to the field, we find that those kinds of things are linked together.
And what would anthropologists do in the real world?
Anthropologists increasingly are employed to do a whole host of things. I mean, one of the things that people have realized is that a lot of the research questions they have, whether they're in government, development, like economic development, whether they're in the corporate sector or in law or something like that, don't resolve really easily with surveys or by calling people up on the phone or by inviting them to come into your office. Sometimes you got to go follow people around if you want to see how they buy stuff, if you want to see how they interact with each other. Sometimes you got to go to the streets or the stores or the mosques or wherever they are, and you got to follow them around. And for that, you oftentimes need anthropological techniques.
Good day from Sydney. How you going? Not your method of transport, fam, but how you doing? Shown love in the land from the day that I flew in and a Westie girl. All right, folks. Well, now that we've had a chance to hear what the word on the street is, and we've got a chance to hear from Professor Greg Downey, let's look and see what the job market says about anthropology or about the demand for what anthropologists can bring to the workforce. So the first thing we'll do is we'll type in anthropology. You've got social professional, anthropologist, and project manager. This is in the healthcare and medical industry. User experience, architect design for e-commerce as marketing communications. Let's think about this. So anthropology draws on qualitative research. Let's see what comes up. So we've got 122 matches. Government and defense policy, senior research and evaluation officer. But let's open it up even more. And let's see, social science or social research. Wow, 654 hits. That's much better than 12 we just saw for looking only at anthropology. It's just a matter of finding those keywords and finding out more broadly what it is that you can do with your training and how you can fill the needs of the job market. So now that we've got a chance to see what kind of jobs are out there for anthropologists, let's see if we can go out and meet some people who are actually doing this work. Come on.
My name is David Everett and I'm a founding director of a charity called School for Life Foundation. School for Life works in rural areas of Uganda and provides high quality access to education through a sustainable means. We do primary education, we do vocational training, agricultural training, we provide healthcare and we provide access to clean water. I decided to study anthropology because I wanted to be working in an international environment and I wanted to understand how to interact with other cultures Building a business in Uganda is quite difficult, and in order to do that you need to be working within local customs and understanding of the local culture. This is where anthropology came to play a part in our success on ground. I'm really happy I made the decision to study anthropology. I think it sort of completed the skill set that was required for us to launch School for Life Foundation. I had the practical background, but I really needed that theoretical knowledge behind me in order to create a sustainable program in Uganda.
You know, when I first decided I didn't want to do academia and I wanted to do applied anthropology and I wanted to do it out in the workforce, there really wasn't a lot of places I could go to get information. I just applied for any job that said research, pretty much, like any job.
Yeah. Now that you're doing anthropology, how do you feel like that's being received in the environment that you work within?
As an employer now, if someone did have that anthropological sort of background, it'd definitely be seen favourable as an organisation.
I don't know. I didn't actually go in to anthropology thinking I'm going to get a job out of it. For me, it was total interest. Like I was just so inspired. I love learning. Like it's all about telling a story. Actually, it's part of market research is about trying to pull out that little gem, that little story that just pulls everything together.
Well, folks, I think we can agree anthropology is a pretty interesting topic, and there are jobs for people out there with a degree in anthropology. But you might have to go get them or make them. Setting sail to explore economies of scale.